In this lecture session on meteorology, under pressure and wind, we will study on the major pressure and wind belts over the globe. Major pressure and wind belts over the globe. That is, we are going to discuss more on major zonal systems on pressure and wind over the globe. Okay, this zonal means that is east-west oriented. Okay, that is zonal pressure and wind systems. So, now I will draw say I am taking different latitudes. Here let it be 0 degree and here I will take 30 degree and 60 degree. Okay, this is 90 degree in the northern hemispheric portion. Okay, now same fashion I will mark here 30 degree south, 60 degree south and 90 degree south. This is southern hemisphere and this is the northern hemispheric portion. So first we will mark the prominent pressure and wind belts near to the equator. Say we have this area is characterized by, that is 30 degree, around 30 degree north and 30 degree south we have the subtropical high area. These are high pressure regions. Okay, same fashion here, that is this will be termed as subtropical high. And same fashion 30 degree south also we have the subtropical high and the orientation or the shape of this subtropical high I am making different from this because of more oceanic region, and the high pressure also will have variation attributed by solar heating compared to more dominant land area influence subtropical high. Subtropical high. You know, in the northern hemisphere, the subtropical high or a simply high, it will have winds association we can mark as in the clockwise direction. Okay, but whereas in the southern hemisphere we have to mark the wind in the anti-clockwise sense. So in previous lectures we have seen how wind blows in the case of a low pressure system in the northern hemisphere as well as in southern hemisphere, at the same time in the case of a high pressure system both in the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. So here very near to the 0 degree or the equatorial region, what we can see, that is we will get winds which blows from the east, or already we have seen the from the east we will have to call as easterlies. So this region is the region of, that is 0 degree, we have the easterlies or the from the subtropical high generated easterlies near to the equator. It is joining somewhere in the 0 degree latitude and it will be called as trade wind easterlies or trades. Trade winds or simply trades. And this region is dominated by low pressure and it will be called equatorial low. Okay, and the merging portion of this easterlies from the southern hemisphere and the northern hemisphere, it will be called as doldrums, the region of doldrum. Okay, so we have seen we have trades and equatorial low and doldrum, and there is a strong converging area attributed by the easterlies which is generated from this northern hemispheric subtropical high as well as from the southern hemispheric subtropical high, and this is the region of the so called intertropical convergence zone or ITC Z. Intertropical convergence, or generally it will be called as intertropical convergence zone or ITCZ. Okay, so these are the features what we can see around the 0 degree or near to the equator. What we have to see in the, if I am taking this equatorial low specifically, I can characterize as it is a weak broad trough of low. Equatorial low is weak, broad, and no doubt low means no doubt it is associated with trough. And in the July, what we can see, July this equatorial trough will position in the northern hemisphere. In July it will be in the northern hemisphere, but whereas January it will be oriented very near to the equator both in the northern hemisphere as well as in the southern hemisphere in January month. And if you take the average position of equatorial low, we can mark it is very near to the equator. Average position is very near to the equator but in the northern hemisphere, and very near to 0 degree. So these are the characteristics of equatorial low. Okay, So then comes the trade winds, or trades. They are easterlies in the northern hemisphere. It got generated from the subtropical high of the northern hemisphere. At the same time, the subtropical high of the southern hemisphere also generates the trade winds, or the equatorial region or equator portion of the winds which blows near to the equator from the subtropical high in the both hemispheric portion, it will term as trades. And this region of low pressure also called as doldrums, and the merging portion of this easterlies from the northern hemisphere and the in the southern hemisphere, it will be called as intertropical convergence zone. And now when these trades are crossing our equator, when it crosses the equator, it has to undergo the Coriolis force and thereby a rightward turning in the northern hemisphere. So when this trade wind crosses the equator, it will undergo a rightward turn in this fashion. Okay, this will be the nature. At the same time, from the trade winds from the northern hemisphere, when it crosses the equator towards southern hemisphere, we have to anticipate it has to make, attributed to Coriolis force, it has to make a leftward turning. Already we have seen in our previous lectures, in the northern hemisphere, wind has to make a turn towards right, and in the southern hemisphere, wind has to make a turn towards left due to Coriolis effect or Coriolis force. So even though these westerlies are generated from the trade winds, when it crosses the equator, attributed to Coriolis force, it will make its due turning in the southern hemisphere. It will become as, that is, wind which blows from west or westerly. This is the so-called equatorial westerlies. That is, equatorial westerlies are generated from trades. No doubt, the westerlies got generated from the trade winds or trades. When it crosses the equator, it has undergone the rightward turning in the northern hemisphere and leftward turning in the southern hemisphere, attributed to Coriolis force. And the another one, what we have to see, the trade wind region is of excessive precipitation. Okay, and this excessive precipitation provides a heat source for maintaining the Hadley cell. This Hadley cell, it is nothing but, that is, if I am taking, instead of, so east-west direction, if I am taking the north-south direction, what we can see, say at 0 degree, this I am taking as north and this is towards south, what we can see, the winds are rising up, and somewhere at a 30 degree latitude or so, it is making such a type of a circulation. And the same fashion here also. Okay, so rising up current and near to the equator, And such a type of current, for the time being, I am not going much detail in the Hartley cell, and this Hartley cell attributed by this trade wind easterlies, that is, trade wind easterlies provides excessive precipitation, or that region is characterized by excessive precipitation, and that precipitation provides a heat source for maintaining the Hartley cell. So we have almost covered the near the equatorial portion, or near to 0 degree. Now what we have to see here, from the subtropical high towards pole, if you go, what we can see here, you have winds which blows from west. This will be termed as westerlies. So, or subtropical westerlies. These are westerlies. Here also westerlies. Okay, so you got two westerlies in the northern hemisphere as well as southern hemisphere, that is the poleward portion of the subtropical high is characterized by the wind regime called subtropical westerlies. And here in this near this 60 degree, what we can expect, here you have seen near 30 degree you have seen high pressure, and here also high pressure, and this region is dominated by, near the 60 degree area, mostly dominated by low pressure region. So this will be called as subpolar low. Subpolar low. Same fashion here also. Almost because of dominancy of oceanic region in the southern hemisphere, both high pressure as well as low pressures will not have that much concentric nature like in the northern hemisphere, low as well as high. So this will be somewhat, when we draw, it should be drawn as a somewhat shallow region. This is the subpolar low here. Subpolar low. You know, if there is a low in the northern hemisphere, definitely it must be associated with anti-clockwise winds. Okay, so this will go in this fashion. From this subtropical high, the winds will make a meander and it will merge with the your subpolar low. So in this fashion, so you got here the easterlies again, and the same fashion here also. In the southern hemisphere, the winds have to make a around low, it has to make a clockwise, that is rotation. So we have to make the in this fashion. Okay, and here the extreme very north, that is near to the 90 degree or in the polar region, you will have polar high. Again, from the high pressure you will get the winds in this region, it will be clockwise rotating winds. Okay, same fashion here also you have polar low, polar high. Here you know it should be in the, not in the clockwise sense, it has to be anti-clockwise in character. So I can draw in this fashion. So this actually in this fashion, sorry, it has to go out. So polar high, polar low, that is near equator you will get a low. In this fashion I will write. Near equator you have equatorial low, and near 30 degree you will have your subtropical high, and near 60 degree you will get your subpolar low, and near the polar region or in around 90 degrees north you will get the high. So low, high, low, high. Same fashion in the southern hemisphere also, this region will be of high pressure, and this region, that is around 60 degree, you will experience the low and the high. Okay, so subpolar low and polar high, and here subtropical high, and you have the polar low in the southern hemisphere, and here you have the polar high. So here this the circulation, what we can see in the subpolar low, it should not be more concentrated like in the northern hemispheric subpolar low associated anti-clockwise rotation. Here actually I should not draw much wind like in the subpolar low in the northern hemisphere, but at the same time we have to keep a sense that in the subpolar low it will be mostly associated with the anti-clockwise rotation. Say this is here. The connected wind system, if I am taking this fashion, so it is entering in a, this is 60 degree, so actually I must stop somewhere here. Okay, so subpolar low, and from this subpolar low okay, so in this fashion this is the easterly, and here if you take okay, So you have the subpolar low, and your polar high. So in this fashion we can visualize. So you have started, you have your polar high here, and here you have your low, and here you have your subtropical high and equatorial low, and here you have your subtropical high and here you have your subpolar low, and here you have your high. So in this fashion we can, no doubt, this is the 90° north and this is the 60° north, this is 30° north, and here 0°, 30° south, 60° south, and 90° south. So what we have to see from this major pressure and wind belts over the globe, if you take, no doubt it is a connected system. So we can't keep, that is what we have here, even the equatorial region, we will have the influence of this circulation, being it is, that is in total, if you take the as the complete entire globe, what we can see, it is purely, it is a connected system. So these are the major pressure and wind belts over the globe. Now, and the now we will see pressure and circulation when intertropical convergence zone is located near the equator. Intertropical convergence near the equator. So this will happen in transitional months. Okay, so you have your equator here, and I am taking the associated with the subtropical high, I am taking a pressure pattern here 10116, another pressure pattern. Okay, now of course this region will be of high 1014, and you have your subtropical high again in the northern hemisphere. That is, again I am putting as 16.1014 millibar. This is your 0 degree, and say here in the transitional months the equatorial low you can mark somewhere here, and you have your trade wind easterlies, and this equatorial trough position or the ITCZ, it will have very near location to the equator. So this is the ITCZ. So this is the location of ITCZ, and the trade winds or trade wind easterlies you will have in this fashion, and from here you will get the trades in the northern hemisphere. Okay, that is in the this is the transitional months. That is during transitional months your trades are not taking a flow across the equator. Earlier you have seen when it crosses the equator it must make a rightward turn in the northern hemisphere and a the leftward turn in the southern hemisphere, and which make the westerlies or equatorial westerlies. Okay, but whereas in the case of a transitional months, what we can see, there will not be the equatorial westerlies, mostly it will be absent in the transitional months. But whereas if you take in the case of the pressure and circulation, when ITCZ is displaced some distance south of the equator, ITC up to here, okay, instead of this I am putting some distance south of equator. This is the first case. This I am taking as the second case. Say such a type of situation, we will represent in this fashion. Say I have my 0 degree here, and again the subtropical high, this is high, and say I am marking my ITCZ somewhere, let it be in the southern hemisphere somewhere here. Okay, this again 1016, let it be 1014 millibar, this 1014 1016 millibar. This is the region 0 degree. What we can see from this subtropical high of the northern hemisphere, you will have your trade wind easterlies, and that will make a turn, or it will make a cross equatorial flow, that is it crosses the equator, and due to the Coriolis effect it will make a leftward turn in the southern hemisphere. This is northern hemisphere, and both these here also you have your trade. This is your ITCZ. So in this fashion we can represent. This is the trade from the southern hemisphere contributed by subtropical high in the southern hemisphere, and this is the trade which started from this subtropical high of the northern hemisphere, and it made a turn here, and you got or equatorial westerlies are generated, and this equatorial westerlies and this trades of the southern hemisphere will merge in the region of ITCZ. Okay, this is the ITCZ. So this is the condition during extreme months, say in extreme summer months. Okay, that is in the southern hemispheric summer. This will be the picture. Say if I am taking our monsoonal regime, what we can see, say here also you will get, that is the trade winds from the southern hemisphere, it will make a rightward turn okay. Okay, no doubt we have to consider the orographic feature and all, but that and all I am not going to discuss here. And you will get your ITCZ position, that is you here the from the subtropical high pressure you will get the trade wind easterly, and the equatorial westerlies, it will go and merge in this region of ITCZ. But in the case of monsoon or southwest monsoon over India, this ITCZ will be specifically called as another name, monsoon trough. Okay, we will study in detail in later classes. So this will be the picture, that is this is the southern hemispheric summer. Your ITCZ will be lying in the southern hemisphere, and in the northern hemispheric summer, for a typical example in July, during the Indian southwest monsoon, the cross equatorial flow makes the southwesterlies, that is after the trade winds of the southern hemisphere, after crossing the equator, it will become as a southwesterly, and it provides Indian monsoon over the mainland. And from this here, from the north, you have your subtropical high pressure trade winds, and no doubt of course there are several orographic features and are playing in this pattern, but if you take in general, this will be the situation, and this will both, it will merge as an ITCZ portion. You can see over this region, or the almost in the central India or north of just central India, and that it will be termed as ITCZ or monsoon trough, more specifically during the southwest monsoon. Now some general points we will just keep it in our mind. So in climatology portion we will not go much detail. There are several physics behind each circulation phenomena during this shifting of this various pressure system as well as the associated wind systems. That and all we will discuss much detail in the when we study on dynamic meteorology classes. And here what we have to see, I am taking trade or trades, no doubt it is trade wind easterlies. Weather disturbances, if you take linked to trades or weather disturbances in trades, what we can see, that is very low if you compare with the weather disturbances in equatorial westerlies. Okay, of course, such a type of weather disturbance only what we are experiencing or attributed by equatorial westerly, so called our or the Indian southwest monsoon. Typical example. Okay. Or even we can see in the mid latitude westerlies. So you have seen the subtropical high pressure region. In the poleward portion of the subtropical high pressure region you have mid latitude westerlies. Both in the case of weather disturbances associated with the equatorial westerlies as well as mid latitude westerlies, this region is more prone to weather, but whereas the region of trades are contributed by or the weather disturbances in the trade wind region is lesser in intensity, very lesser in intensity compared to these two cases. Okay, and the now we will see the poleward and eastern oceanic sectors of trade and eastern oceanic sectors of trades are linked to dry and fair weather. Okay, but whereas equatorward and western oceanic sector of trades are of greater precipitation, and or even we can tell as of more weather features. So now if you think about our subtropical high, we can once again draw, near the 30° north as well as south, you have your subtropical high. Okay, now I am taking the subtropical high in the northern hemisphere typically. So you will have your clockwise circulation. Okay, this is high, subtropical high pressure. So this is nothing but trades or trade wind easterlies, and when you reach say this is the 40°, and here you reached 50° northern hemisphere, this you reached 60°, and if you consider this leftward portion, no doubt this high pressure region here, the eastward portion, what we can see here, if I am taking an example 1024 millibar, 1020 millibar, 10 let it be 18 millibar, say here the isobars are very nearby, so that because okay, no doubt of course it is a high pressure region, and when this isobars are very nearby, you will get dry and light variable winds. Being it is a high pressure, and no doubt being it is dry and light variable winds, the in world's driest regions or deserts, mostly we can locate the eastward portion of the subtropical high. But when you come to westward portion, the no doubt high pressure region is mostly dominated by subsidence, already you have seen, and this subsidence, being this isobars are very nearby, this region subsidence also will be strong, and this strong subsidence only contributing dry and light variable winds as well as, and thereby driest regions of the world. But whereas if you come to the west portion of the subtropical high, what we can see, the subsidence will be weak, and no doubt being subsidence is weak, you have to anticipate air is mostly unstable. Okay, and compared to that portion, here rain should be excess. And here also, that is, being it is very near to this weak subsidence area, that is in the eastward side, this region totally of air unstable. Whereas that is in the subtropical high itself, you can locate the region that is in the eastward region or the eastward portion of the subtropical high. You will get the subsidence strong, but whereas in the west side you will get subsidence weak. And here the 30 degree latitude is having a specific name called horse latitude. And the 40 degree, it is having a specific name called roaring 40s. And here 50 degree, it will be called as furious 50s. And this 60 degree, it is having a specific name called shrieking 60s. So 30 degree line or latitude is called horse latitude, and 40 degree roaring 40s, and 50 degree latitude furious 50s, and 60 degree called as shrieking 60s. So what we can see, this is the westerlies. These westerlies on the poleward side have a series of high pressure cells in the east-west direction, and highest pressure over eastern portion of can be located mostly in the subtropical ocean. And now this is the picture of, if you take a subtropical high pressure region specifically. Clear? Now and the just now you have seen you have the subtropical high in this fashion. You have in the northern hemisphere, that is, you will get in the poleward side, you will have westerly. Here also high pressure region is there in the southern hemisphere. Okay, and these are the westerlies. This will be nothing but mid latitude westerlies. Mid latitude westerlies, that is nothing but the poleward side of the subtropical high. They are highly variable both in speed and direction. Both speed and direction, and this high variability is due to possession of cyclones as well as anticyclones. That is, when you reach the region of around 40 degree in the mid latitude, what we can see, the region of or we can encounter the mid latitude westerlies. That mid latitude westerly region is specified by its nature of highly variable speed and direction, and this variability in speed and direction is contributed by cyclones and several cyclones and anticyclone, and when they interact each other, there the formation of frontal zones. Okay, so cyclone and several anticyclone and the interaction creates frontal zones, and these frontal zones or fronts mostly it will move from west to east, because it is getting trapped in this westerlies, and it will make, or the fronts will make a movement from the west to east. So here also what we can see, west to east. And now we will encounter to polar easterlies. Already you have seen, and this polar easterlies, no doubt poleward of 70 degree, they are shallow. So these easterlies are very shallow, and thereby the weather disturbances move from west to east. Generally, if it is easterly, we have to anticipate the movement from east to west, but in the region of polar easterlies, the most of the weather systems will have movement from west to east contributed by westerly, that is strong westerlies, in aloft. In higher levels there will be westerlies that will be transporting or making a shift for the weather systems which are generated around 70 degree from west to east. That is due to strong westerly in aloft, and it is having a very deep westerly flow we can see here, or depth is very high. Okay, so these are the things in general regarding various pressure and wind systems over the globe. In our previous lecture, you have seen, if you go along with the sun's march, what we can see, the noon rise or the latitudinal shift of wind belts due to earth rotation due to earth's revolution, noon rays shifts between 23.5 degree north to 23.5 degree south. That is, if you take, that is, the shifting will take place around 47 degree in total. This is a theoretical concept, but whereas in the actual situation, if you see, what you can see in the northern hemisphere, more land area is there compared to southern hemisphere, so the solar heating will be dominant here. Due to such a type of greater heating in the summer hemisphere, instead of the shifting from here to there, instead of that, it may shift from even 35 degree north to 30 to 35 degree south. The total shifting of around 65 degree we can anticipate here. Theoretically 47 degree, but actually what we can see, the latitudinal shift of wind belts attributed by solar heating, as well as what we have to see as due to more heating in the summer hemisphere, instead of 23.5 degree north to 23.5 degree south, the real situation takes place from 30 or 35 degree north to 30 or 35 degree south. That is, in total it is getting shifted by 65 degree instead of 47 degree. So with this we will conclude this portion of meteorology.